a cigar man. I'm a cigar man. Big your baby, you know I'm smoking. Cigar like a woman, round but not too firm. Even though it's smoking slow, fire'll get you burned. I'm a cigar man. Bigger your honey, you know you got me smoking. Smoke 'em when they're short, smoke 'em when they're long. I like 'em when they're mellow, love 'em when they're strong. I'm a cigar man. Bigger than your baby, you got me smoking.
Salads is live now.
Okay, welcome again to another episode of
Smoking Salads.
So today, Saturday, we are at Mount Hood Cigars out in Sandy, Oregon, and we are here with Jeremy Wolfman from Wolfman Enterprises, and we are celebrating Alec Bradley. So it is an Alec Bradley event out here at Mount Hood. If you haven't been here, there's still some product left. You should stop off at Sandy and visit us at Mount Hood Cigars. We're going to be here till we're done.
He's selling through them pretty quick though, folks. So
yeah, things are moving quickly.
You know, if you're watching live, you might want to get here because Jeremy tends to sell out.
This is the first you've heard of the event. Then yeah, you better get out here. And hang out. So we're inside.
I think the Magic Toast boxes, the Magic Toast he had lasted all of about 3 minutes.
Yeah, they tend to zip right on out.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of tarps outside, plenty of seating, and good time. So there's probably 10, 15 people outside.
We're a little dark on the inside here because lighting's not the greatest, but it works out.
Don't have the lights that we normally have in our show. I didn't think about bringing them, but nobody likes a super bright cigar store anyway. So it just makes you have to look at each other. So today, speaking of Alec Bradley, we are smoking the Gatekeeper. So we're going to have Jeremy sit down with us, and he's going to talk a little bit about the Gatekeeper when he has time to do so. He is running the show, so when he has time, he'll just join us. So, and we'll talk about the Gatekeeper. So, in the meantime, you guys were already kind of doing your nose thing on the cigar. So, what did you get on the nose?
Caramel and a little bit of grassiness. Not so much hay, but more of a grassiness.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I am your host, John Hill, and to my left is Dean, and to the left of Dean is Bubbles Bob. So,
how you doing?
Here to entertain you once again. And if you like the show, please share it. And if you don't like the show, share it anyway.
And if you haven't done so, subscribe.
Subscribe to YouTube.
Hit the like button.
We are live right now on YouTube and in Facebook. YouTube is just the Smoking Salad channel. So do your search on the YouTube and just do a search for the channel. And then when you get there, subscribe so that when we come live the next time, it'll pop right up for you. So you don't have to do any more searching.
All right, I will say the foot of the cigar, which is the flat portion of the cigar, smells completely different than the wrapper.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
So, yeah, I'm getting the normal barn funk, but there is something sweet.
I'm getting like a sweet spice.
and you said
spice. Kind of like a,
it's more prevalent on.
like a. I want to clarify on this particular spice. Is it more like what we normally do as a winter spice or anything like that? It's more like a cinnamon combined with a cedar spice that you would smell from a cigar box.
Yeah, I get something woody. I'm not sure it's cedar, but yeah, maybe it's now the box. It's a cedar box, so it's a small little box there.
I definitely get some taste of cedar when it's lit.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and light mine. So we were kind of enamored with everything that was going on here today. So we were starting a few minutes late than what I advertised at 2 o'clock, but that's okay. I know you guys are hanging in there. So all right, so I'm gonna toast the foot here a little bit and draw a couple of puffs now.
Okay, now I cut the head. This is what's considered the head of the cigar. I clip that and smell that. I get caramel. Caramel in that grass, not hay, grass.
Well, I definitely get cedar when I retrohale on the first puff. And on the tongue, there's definitely something sweet with the caramel.
Okay, I haven't tasted it yet, but I can tell you this much. The smell that I got off the foot versus the smell I got off the head of the cigar are two totally different things. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a bit of a dynamic cigar because you get those different flavors.
It is. I mean, there's a lot of our cigars that we get. They're peppery, they're leathery. This one is leathery and earthy. Not really any pepper at all through the retrohale. Just more of a sweetness through the retrohale, which is good. It's very, very, very good. Just and I'm not even an eighth inch in. Go.
It's got some strength to it though. It's definitely like a little bit of a heroin.
Yeah.
It's not a. I would classify that as a very strong medium.
Yeah, I would say a solid medium.
Flavor too, but the flavor might be almost full flavor.
Yeah, there's a lot of flavor in
There's
here.
a lot going on.
Bob, what are you getting?
I'm getting some woody notes of like a little bit of cedar taste, and just a little, hardly any peppery, but
Yeah, Bob, you're probably gonna have to pull that microphone just a little bit closer.
okay.
There's a lot of space.
A little bit of pepper, not much, not strong, but it's got really good flavor. It's I'm really surprised how good it is.
There is some. I do agree with you on that second pull I just did. This cigar makes you pay attention. Actually,
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
That second retrohale through my nose said no. I'm more than what you say.
That's right. You say
Yeah.
medium, I say
Yeah.
screw you.
I want to grab you by the throat a little bit and just let you know.
Grab you by the nose hairs.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have nose hairs, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, I don't really have nose hairs.
Mine are like tooth-comb thick, man. It's just,
We don't need to really know about that. Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
so okay, so what are we pairing it with today, Dean?
Well, we are pairing it with the single estate straight bourbon whiskey from Filibuster. And I don't know if you
Filibuster
folks
Bourbon.
can see that, but I believe that this is a new product that has been here in Oregon for like probably the last couple of weeks, maybe if not a month.
So Bubbles picked it up. We were talking about the show last night, and coming back from vacation, 1 week back to work, we're a little bit behind, so we decided at the last minute. Bob had this whiskey at the house last night, smoking with the Friday night crew, and he's like, I'll just bring that. So right off the bat, while you guys are nosing and everything else,
Now-
it is a little sweet. It's like
It does have some dark color. Does it say how long it's aged?
I don't know. I didn't read it. So 2 years.
Yeah.
It's
2 years, single malt.
it says on the label that it's barreled at 120 proof and it's bottled at 110.5 proof.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like 110 though.
No.
It's very smooth. It's slightly sweet.
Yep, it is a corn rye barley, and I'm assuming that they put that in the order of the progression. It is a bourbon, so it has to be at least 51% corn. From Shenandoah,
Virginia.
HWK, I'll just call it Hawk Farms.
Are you gonna pour or are you gonna read that label all day?
I'm Go look at this. The duration of fermentation was only 72 hours. That's like somewhere. Oh, it's because John wants. Folks, that's because John wants his whiskey.
I want some whiskey now more than ever. After doing a dry brewery for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. Your trip over there in the No Fun Land.
Well, John actually tasted this last night, so.
All right, let's see what we get on this.
Swirly the girl.
Yep, Nigger, Dizzy, and then Lizzy.
Well, let's cheers first, everybody.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers, smoking salad.
Right into the microphone too. Yeah, doesn't taste like 110.
Yeah, but what'd you get on the smell?
And the smell, it's very caramely. It's almost like a molasses.
Yeah, a little bit of fruit.
It's
Maybe,
most bourbons on the nose and the palate, but not off-puttingly so. So, yeah. Why don't you come over here and do that?
Okay, wait. I gotta bring you in. So I'm getting what you guys are getting, but I'm also getting something else.
Oh, before we get too far, do you know who we have with us in the audience? Let's all say hello to Chris Wilson.
Hey, Chris Wilson!
Chris Wilson!
Chris Wilson's here. We got the amplifier outside so people can actually hear us.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
We learned our lesson in the last time.
Sorry about that, folks outside. That was the Texan yelling.
Texan indeed.
Yelling Texan, especially since my Aggies are freaking losing. God. Anyway, back to the smell. I'm getting like a citrus.
Can you tell he's from
Don't take this the wrong way.
Can you
folks.
tell
It
he's
could-
from
I'm
Texas?
just- I'm getting like grandma perfume.
Like Avon.
No, it's worse than that. Yeah, I don't know. There's
No,
like a
I'm not getting
citrus,
anything unpleasantly
old
perfumed.
floral. There's something.
There's a floral in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think it's like an apricot.
Yeah, it could be not floral, but it's
I could agree with that. I could agree with that.
That's a second whiskey we've got an apricot taste from.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do the whiskey and then the cigar and kind of pair them together. I don't know if you guys have already done that.
Same here. Working on it.
Okay. Silence. I'll tell you this much. The taste I'm getting on my palate is very similar to what I smelled.
So,
Native American sculptures up there. Those
John, do you have anything political to talk about today?
I do. I'm just enjoying the cigar and the whiskey before we try to make the show as fun as possible. We haven't done anything political in a while, but the recent political turmoil with the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill. Part of that, there's a program in there. Apparently, one of the leading preventable causes of death is there are women who are in their pregnancy stage and they end up dying.
What?
And I don't know the technical things, but so there's a program they want to put together to educate or help these people to avoid that situation. But I guess it happens a lot, more often than what you would think. So in order to fund that, they want to tax premium cigars 1,000% more than what the federal tax is right now.
thank you. It's Republicans, if you do not
1,000%.
kill this,
Thank you, Chuck
where?
Schumer.
God.
Now, this is the federal government, not the state government.
Yeah, this is federal government.
Yeah, this is
so
federal,
everybody,
this is not state.
This goes nationwide.
So this is ridiculous, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean that's asinine. Talk about they don't even do that with cigarettes. So write your congressperson, let them know that that's not the path we should be taking. That's going to do more than damage jobs here in the United States. United States, we import a lot of tobacco, and if the tax on it is 1,000%. On top of the tariffs that already come in, right? So that's the tariffs on tobacco, and then you've got $50 per pound or whatever it is. That's all different. So it's going to damage the imports coming in. It's going to damage those people who are working in the factories, doing the production. This is their lives.
Well, and we're talking about those companies. They employ hundreds, if not thousands, of people.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua,
Honduras, Brazil, Costa Rica. Yeah, let's look at the camera.
It got bumped.
we got bumped.
Yeah.
We got bumped and moved. We're going to look and see if our picture is clear and crystal.
We're okay right now. Okay. So now, when Jeremy sits down, we'll have to angle it more. So when Jeremy sits here, we can have Jeremy angle the camera. So Bob's okay, but I mean he's right on the edge.
Yeah.
So. Yep. So yeah, we're set up in the shop. So it's not a lot of room with all the people here. So you can hear all the people in the background. So yeah, people are going to bump into the camera. That's just life.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Well, that's what happens when you do a show at a cigar bar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you do a live broadcast from an event, especially in some cigar shops, they're not real big, so there's not a lot of room. Fortunately, we're crammed in here.
Hear some ruckus from the people outside.
All right, people outside, make some noise if you like smoking salads.
Oh my God!
They're laughing.
They're laughing. They're making noise.
Come on, Chris Wilson.
They're like, yay, smoking salad, yay. I'm really excited to be here.
That is completely. There he
is.
Man,
We need you guys to make some noise out there, man. Tell everybody, come smoke cigars at Mount Hood Smoke Shop.
Just twist it. Just a little bit.
Okay, stop.
That might be good. I think that's good.
That should be good.
That should be good.
Thank you, Chris
very much,
Wilson.
sir.
So,
What was he smoking?
Graced by Chris Wilson.
in case you didn't hear it, Chris Wilson's here. So far, great day, great event. We're getting into the end of the summer season, so it's great temperature outside. It's our Indian summer, so to speak, that we always tend to get out in the Pacific Northwest. It feels air conditioned in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're in the shade because it's got a ceiling.
And you sit out in the sun.
We got two fans in here as well, so we got air movement.
Yep.
But this cigar is really good. I want to get more back to the cigar and let's taste a little bit more about
Just one more note. One more note. Write your congressperson about this ridiculous tobacco tax. Let them know you're not amused. And that's really just, hey, I'm not amused. Thank you.
Wait. Did you hear that Joe Biden hasn't paid like $500,000 worth of his taxes or more? Has not.
Awesome.
He is like a tax delinquent, people.
You got the 10% off.
Audit.
Shame on Trump for not paying any taxes. But I haven't paid $500,000 in mine, so awesome.
It was something like that, like either like $5 million or $500,000 in taxes that he hasn't paid.
If you're a politician out there watching this program, do yourself a favor. Take some action that doesn't make you look like a douche. I mean, how hard could that be?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not a politician. I can be free to be a jackass, but you're in the public eye. So how about elevating yourself above?
Well, especially if you're claiming like everybody should pay their fair share of taxes. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I know it's a game in politics, but quite honestly, those of us who are watching all of this, it's like a bunch of children running around. He got more juice than I got.
Yeah.
And you can, you don't have to write a letter. You can write them an email. You can call them. Yep. They all have phone numbers. You can call and talk to one of their representatives on the phone and tell them how you feel about it, and just get it out there to your congressman and senator and tell them, don't vote for this, vote against it. Unfortunately, we have two Democrats that are both, they say that they're not against smoking, but
the crazy thing
they vote for everything.
Tobacco has nothing to do with this program, right? I mean, women's death rates when pregnant. What does that got to do with tobacco?
Yeah.
I could maybe understand the need to tax tobaccos for cancer research or something like that. But this isn't that. This is like, we want to get rid of this anyways, so let's fund an entire program off of something that's not even related to it. I mean, that's abusive. being stupid. So, anyways, that's it. I'm gonna shut up, but I needed to get that said because it's
We just, my wife and I have a fifth wheel.
So, anyways, back to the cigar.
I just want to talk about that. I want to talk about that sexy man over there in that plaid gray jacket. There he is. Yeah.
There he is.
There he is. There's the
I
man.
need my drink.
You do need
a
a
drink.
drink.
So,
I don't know if he's willing to come on the show. He may not be willing to come on the show. Yeah, right there.
Right here.
Right there. We'll let John do the introductions.
yep, so this is Jeremy Wilson. He is representing Alec Bradley in the Pacific Northwest. And he is here to talk to us a little bit about Gatekeeper.
The Gatekeeper.
The Gatekeeper.
Can you tell us a little bit about the cigar?
Well, number 7 cigar of the year this year in Cigar Aficionado. It's Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Dominican and Nicaraguan filler. So lots of flavor, medium in body, a little bit of spice, super nice. Goes well with any of this stuff here.
It does.
Boom. It's a good thing I got a big glass.
Well, great to have you on the program. Great to see that you're not hobbling around anymore. So you're healed up. So what's next? Is there other trees that maybe you want to do?
I'm pretty sure there's some nice oak trees here in Oregon.
Oh
that
my.
They're calling out for you to climb them.
Not yet. Not yet.
There's a tree right behind us calling your name. Jeremy, come climb me.
Yeah.
I almost had the cane today. We did the Western Washington Fair yesterday.
Nice.
And so, brought the baby. Yesterday was her 2-month. Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, baby. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So the question I have about that is, why does it look like beans?
No, whoa.
We're not. No, I didn't know. You're not. No. Dude, we're gonna have words after the show, buddy.
Thank God she doesn't look like him.
No, I don't make girls.
I'm joking, of course. The baby's beautiful. Dean is not.
Exactly, and that's how that should stand. Right there.
Oh, he's a beautiful man.
Clearly gets it from the wife.
So does.
I mean, it doesn't have a beard or anything.
Yeah, she doesn't have a beard yet, but she might.
Does Alec Bradley have any new sticks coming out? I know they just came out with that Kintsugi.
Kintsugi would have been part of the newer stuff, right? From Alec and Bradley, right?
Which is a very good cigar,
It's
by
kind
the
of
way.
the new generation, kind of stepping up and doing some things, right? So basically we've got we've talked about the Project 40 Maduro. So that was part of that. The Blind Faith, the Kintsugi. We're going to be releasing here in the next month or so is our yearly diamond allocations, right? The diamond-shaped cigars. So those will be coming out here.
Can you
And
let us, I don't know if you're able to let us know, but if you're able to let us know, and the folks listening, about the makeup of
We've
those,
gone down. I've been
or are they proprietary?
I'm going to tell you they're coming soon.
Now, are you going to actually introduce it at TPE? Or are you...
The accounts that are getting them have already ordered them. That's something that gets ordered in like March, and they're getting ready to ship.
Oh,
So are you introducing anything new at TPE? I know you can't really maybe say anything about it, but it's just a yes or no.
Well, you can always say, yeah, we might be.
I do know that some select accounts are going to be getting the trilogy. Remember the old trilogy?
Yeah.
And now it's it's going to be a variety of the different trilogies in a box.
Triangular shaped thing?
Yeah.
Those were good cigars.
Yeah. So they got pre-released through Honest Abe. Yeah, over at Smoke Inn, right? So and they'll be coming to other select stores here soon.
So I'm taking a guess that in the Pacific Northwest, where you're repping, Magic Toast is probably your number one thing.
Magic Toast does very well.
The Project 40 might do very well.
What's another big seller that?
Gosh, they all. I mean,
They all move pretty equally.
they. For Mount Hood, they're saying Project 40. You know what though? I mean, I think Black Market's still my biggest mover.
Black Market's pretty good.
Tried and true, great price point. You know, the Tempest, the Tempest Natural. Even if you don't smoke light cigars, don't be scared by the Tempest Natural. Give that a shot. It is phenomenal.
That for me, it's a early afternoon snack. Never disappointed.
It's fantastic.
So this is my one beef. How come you guys got rid of the Maduro version of that? Because I'm sorry.
That's
folks,
above my pay grade.
I'll say this right now. That was my all-time favorite from Alec Bradley. The Tempest Maduro is such a good cigar.
It was.
And like I say, for those of us, we don't know what goes on. We don't know if, like, maybe the tobacco that they were using they ran out of, and maybe they're having to wait X amount of years to procure some of the same blend. Because one of the hard things is if there is an account with someone who's growing the tobacco for you, and you stop growing that leaf, can you procure that species of tobacco from another farmer to where it's going to taste the same, right? Because just like we talk about on the show, even along the mountainside, you can have the same species of tobacco that's grown, but they taste different because of the soil, chemical composition of the soil can change the flavor of the tobacco.
Absolutely, and then
the weather.
And then neighboring farms too, right?
Exactly.
Because of the root system and what it does, right? And so that'll all play an impact. But you have your 5 key components of tobacco, right? Of the cigar makeup of what's going to impact the taste. And so you have your seed, most important, right? Your soil, your elevation, your climate, and then your water source.
Exactly.
Right? So it's
And the
all
type of water. I think even the type of
100%,
water,
100%.
the chemical makeup of the water itself.
Is it well water? Is it from a river? Or where's it? What's
Does it come naturally through a natural filtration of the earth?
right?
know.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had the same thing. If you want to talk about spirits, we had the same thing with spirits. Different chemical composition of water can of the same. If you were to use the exact grain recipe from the exact same farm, but two different areas where the water's different, you're going to get a different flavor profile in those two different spirits.
Absolutely.
And it can be the same thing. I think it can be the same thing for cigars as well.
Agriculture, right? I mean,
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an agricultural thing.
I think, cigar is kind of a romantic idea, and people tend to easily forget that it's a agricultural product that's grown and have all the complications that regular farmers do. Right?
Yeah.
But it's just like you put it in your mouth and you're like, "Oh, this is great," but you don't ever really think about what goes into that cigar and how manually intensive it is to make a premium cigar.
how was that soil vegetated?
Yeah. And I don't. This is one thing I would say for those of you out there that do smoke cigars. Heed little respect to people that have a cigar and they almost taste identical from year to year, because I'm sorry, that is hard to do.
Well, let's talk about it for a second for any of the wine drinkers, right?
Exactly.
Because when you go year to year with wine, right? That consumer will drink a different year vintage 1 year apart and say this tastes completely different, and they look at the sommelier and they go, well, why? And they go, well, it's a different year vintage.
Yeah, it was drier season this year.
Drier or wetter or
Rainy means the grapes are bigger, which means they actually the potency of the grapes aren't as intense.
But that consumer, right?
Yeah.
They automatically accept that, right? And that makes sense. That makes sense. But in cigar smoking, we're a certain kind of snob.
Yeah.
Right?
We like to blend it so they taste the same year over year.
Right.
That's the recipe.
And you get used to that.
Blended whiskey does every year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We want that consistency. And that's why, vertically integrated companies, why it's so important, right?
Yeah.
Is because how else can you come close to controlling that?
And that's why I never really get frustrated. I might have a cigar that might tunnel, or canoe,
Or might be tight,
or it might be
raw,
tight
or
a little bit.
yeah.
You know, these are 100% hand rolled, and
Yes.
you're gonna have some errors in there, right? But so much effort went into that one cigar. It's like, hey, I'm gonna try to get through it, just out of respect for the hundreds of hands that have touched this product before it even gets to your mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
So, which sounds kind of gross nowadays, but I mean, that's true.
But it's true. And there's a lot of work that goes into making a cigar. And I think a lot of people, if they were actually able to go to a cigar plantation, if not even just, let's say it's not even a cigar plantation, let's just say a cigar factory,
Right.
and see exactly how much work goes into making these cigars taste literally almost the same from year to year.
Well, you can study as much as you want, right? As far as reading, talking to people, watching video, but there is no experience like visiting the factory,
Exactly.
going to the fields,
So much education.
talking to the master blender, going and checking out the agriculture side, which we're talking about, right?
Smelling the tobacco at the various stages along the way.
And the way that they treat, so you can have one factory that treats its tobacco a little bit differently than another factory, then another factory, then another factory. Much like the same, I would compare it to, if we were going to compare this close, what I would say is compare single barrel uncut spirit from one distillery to the next. And even within the same distillery, you can have one barrel that provides different flavors and another one's completely different.
Well, that, and then it comes down to the chef, right? Yeah, right. Who's in the kitchen, right? Yeah, same
Yeah,
thing.
but this is just to show maybe with people that watch this now or watching in the future to get a little bit of appreciation for the amount of work that goes into making a cigar.
Speaking of appreciation, this ashtray, I'm really digging it.
Yeah, love it.
Call that the baby
very
bump.
Artistic in nature. It's got all this kind of cool design on the side. Is there a story behind the styling put on this, or they just decided, nah, let's just make it colorful?
That's actually a retro design that was from years ago, right?
Really?
So yeah, they used to have that out, and it was gone, and they just re-released it. But yeah, they call it the baby bump ashtray.
Let's do this one.
I know Dixie wants one for her smoke room at home.
We'll try to show. Let's see if there's a.
Well, the box is pretty much
The box pretty much at, but people might be able to
That's
see.
over the side of the ashtray.
Yeah, it's like a big graffiti style all over the box. It looks really nice, but yeah, it's much like the.
Well,
the
show 'em the
ashtray.
It's
baby
almost
bump.
like the graffiti you
Oh,
see
yeah.
all over like Europe, right? So when you go to Europe, it's
Yeah.
all political statements and just cool artistic stuff. We view graffiti in a much different way here in the United States, but this is what it kind of reminds me of. You go to Rome, it's everywhere, all over
Yeah.
the walls, and it's celebrated art. So they welcome all the graffiti, right? So that kind of reminds me of all that. It's just a hodgepodge of stuff, but you could stare at this thing for days and spot different things in there. So yeah, pretty cool. Digging it. So it was a choice. I bought a couple of boxes and got the ashtray here. I didn't have any Alec Bradley ashtrays. I don't know why, but needed to have one. So it was this one or the really big one that you had.
Right, right.
So I chose this one. It was like, oh, I saw that. I was
Tell
like,
you
yeah,
what,
that's
that
pretty
big
cool.
one though, man.
The big one. So
That is a don't you
big
dare
one.
steal my cigar ashtray right there.
It's
That is a club.
it's a pretty heavy, durable.
it's like a boat.
Yeah, that is a boat.
It's huge.
Is that a short joke? Like you saying I could canoe in that thing or what?
As long as you can literally put that thing in a hot tub with no jets.
This is about the size of my foot. Can I go skiing on this?
That's a horseshoe ashtray.
Take it up to Mount
Well, everybody's got that special friend that no matter what they do, they miss the ashtray, right?
Exactly.
It's like the friend you give an extra, large bib to, right? It's got to catch all, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just about all of my friends miss the ashtray. So actually, in the solarium part of my house, I've got a recliner there, and my wife and I will watch TV, and I'll smoke a cigar, or watch a movie or something. 9 times out of 10, I'll be enjoying a cigar, and the ash is maybe this much. And as I'm smoking it, oh, son of a bitch! So I start wiping it out, and my wife's like, "Did you just drop ash on your shirt?"
Nope.
And then there's holes in it. So I do have smoking jackets to prevent that, but I don't usually wear them, which really makes her mad. So. But think about it. It's like I don't want to wear a smoking jacket in the summer. You know,
Sure,
the solarium
sure.
is not air conditioned, so why would I put a jacket on? It's not like they're really heavy, but you don't really think about it. So,
So do we want to do another retro hell on this cigar and see if the flavor profile is changing any?
I've been doing retro hails, and it's pretty consistent all the way through. I haven't noticed, now normally as the tobacco warms up and you get the smoke from the previous tobacco, you do get some changes. This has been pretty consistent.
Very consistent.
Yeah, it's got a nice spiciness to it.
Yep. That's from the first light, first draw, it's still the same, and that's what I like about most Alec Bradley cigars is they pretty much stay the same flavor profile, which most people want.
I am getting a light pepper where I wasn't getting pepper before.
Okay, and I got the pepper with Bob in the
Yeah,
beginning.
I got
My
light pepper.
It's not as intense.
Yeah,
It's
it's
backed
a
off
light.
a little bit, but I get a little bit the spice characteristic of
The Nicaraguan there.
the cigar,
Yeah.
of the Nicaraguan
Yeah, the
tobacco.
Nicaraguan
Is a little bit. It's more. Let's let you take center stage a little bit.
Yeah, you said the
And that's an
binder-
Ecuadorian Habano wrapper.
Nice.
Right? And so that's you get a lot of flavor there, right?
Yep.
And then the Nicaraguan binder, and then you got Dominican and Nicaraguan filler.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm surprised I don't have as much because for me, Nicaraguan tobaccos typically are more peppery. Depends on where you
Sure,
want to be, right?
but I think blended with that Dominican, right, is going to smooth it out.
Yeah.
And a lot of Dominican tobacco is going to take on the characteristics, but then bring the spice down a little bit.
yeah, I get more earthiness. So
Yeah, I get a little
Yeah.
touch of
more
leather.
Dominican in there than Nicaraguan.
I got like a little touch of leather, if not a slight nuttiness.
I get a little bit of wood.
an excellent cigar.
With the wood.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, highly recommend the cigar. Actually, the pairing, the cigar for me is pulling out more of the fruitiness, not the sweetness, but the fruitiness of the whiskey.
For the whiskey, yeah.
So it's actually a really good pairing. Now the whiskey by itself, it's a little too sweet for me, but I don't usually drink bourbons. You know, the regular bourbons, right? I drink single malts and all that kind of stuff because the bourbons for me are a little too sweet and they always impact my blood sugar. But this one, it's not impacting my blood sugar yet. We'll find out over time. But with the cigar, it's actually not too sweet. It actually takes the sweetness away and replaces it with that apricot-y kind of a flavor that we were talking about.
Yeah,
earlier.
that apricot from that particular bourbon.
So you
Blends very well
are you
with
trying to
this
say you think it's a good pairing?
It's okay.
Well, I'll tell you,
No,
this
it's very good.
Ardbeg with the Tempest Natural, fantastic.
Okay.
We'll have to remember that.
That's
I think
the
Ardbeg is
Ardbeg
anything.
Corvecken.
Yes.
Corvecken.
Corey Veckin.
No, I think it's Corvecken is how they pronounce
Yeah.
it. They don't pronounce the R. It's
I just got
Vecken.
back from Egypt. They would say,
There you go.
Yeah.
So coming up in 2 weeks, there are 2 events going on. They're on the Saturday, I think it's October 9th. There is the cigar and whiskey pairings at Branch Point Distillery, which is over there just, it's in Dayton, Oregon, which is kind of between McMinnville and Wine Country
Dundee.
Dundee.
So it's like sandwiched right in between there. We did a quick, mobile phone show from there. So that's going on. That's the last weekend they're doing it for the summertime. They have a new release on the Branch Point whiskeys. Our intent was to get out there and do that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do it. But if you're going to be in that area or that sounds interesting, you should go. Great bunch of people out there. I'm actually going to LNA. I'm doing it Friday night. On the 8th, LNA is doing a cigar and whiskey pairing, and they have their wine tasting. So it's in the parking garage, and so they have all kinds of wines, spirits, food samples, everything else. So tickets are on sale if you just want to do the wine stuff at the LNA with the food and the samplings of the spirits and stuff. It's like $59. If you want to do the whiskey, that includes the wine stuff, but it's $80 for the whiskey pairing with the cigars.
So $30 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's well worth it. Bob and I have done it before.
Yeah.
They also have the same thing on Saturday, the 9th, just not the whiskey thing. So
Right.
they have a Friday, there's 2 sessions. There's like an early afternoon wine tasting, and then there's like starting at 7 o'clock is the second.
8 o'clock is 7 o'clock is the second wine tasting.
8 o'clock
Is the
whiskey.
cigar and whiskey, yeah.
Yep, and then the same thing on Saturday, but without the whiskey drinks.
Right.
So that's coming up in 2 weeks.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
A&A is really interested in doing more of these cigar events. So stay tuned. They got the parking garage done. They're working on the hotel now. When that hotel's complete, I think we're going to start seeing some cigar events there. So we've been talking to them a little bit about it. Haven't got them in touch with, the grandfather of all cigar events. Right? So, but that's coming. So maybe they'll do a Cigar and Stars thing there or something. So we got a lot of great reps in the Pacific Northwest. Jeremy is one of them. So yeah, we don't have to go all the way to Spokane, right? It's a quicker drive to get into.
I got to run, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show, Jeremy.
Jeremy Wolfson, Sonell Enterprises, the rep in the Pacific Northwest for Alec Bradley. So great to get his time, especially when he's busy, selling cigars here today. So with that, anything else you guys want to talk about? We're reaching the end of our show. I think we're reaching the end of our show.
Yep, I think so.
Oh, Dean's got a piece. So let's talk another half an hour.
I drank some beer before the show.
So I'm going to push on your glass.
Oh, man.
Actually, I don't want Dean to pee his pants because we're sitting on the couch and it'll dribble over to me.
Yeah, it's faux leather, so we don't know how that'll handle it. So.
All right, so with that, enjoy
Smoking Solids. See you Monday.
Cheers to everybody.
Kim finally scored some points.
Yeah, well, points is not enough.
Just
I
a
would much
little.
rather see a Sept